can confidently say, based on my experience working with some of the best players and aimers in the game, that mental reactive aiming is by far the most effective tool for improving reactive aim. When it comes to aiming, there are a lot of factors that come into play, which includes mouse control, hand-eye coordination, reactivity, reading skills, and smoothing. These terms are prominent within the aiming community and are utilized by skilled aimers to accurately and characteristically describe aiming. Coach Prince with Oblivity here, and in this video I'll be going in depth on the reactive part of aiming. What is reactive aiming? Simply put, reactive aiming refers to your ability to react to moving targets on your screen. This is done through two factors that you utilize when you're aiming: visual reacting and physical reacting. If we translate these two aspects into the game, visual reacting refers to how fast you click when you see an enemy, whilst physical reacting refers to how fast you move your mouse to land on the target when you see an enemy. In FPS shooters, reactive aiming is one of the most important key aspects in terms of aim. In fact, I would go as far as to say that the top 0.01% of the players are way more reactive than the top 0.1% players. In TAC shooters like VALORANT or CSGO, reactivity matters the most when you're playing at higher levels, as the gameplay and overall mechanics of the players are almost at a similar level. It's reactivity that sets them apart, especially in VALORANT. Hitting your first bullet before your opponent does is defined by many players and coaches as the single most important factors when it comes to who wins the duels. Here is an example of two players, player A and player B, in the exact same situation. Both players are picking an enemy in the exact same way, with proper crosshair placement and similar movements. Player A visually reacts on time as soon as he makes contact with the enemy, while player B fails to react on time, resulting in him getting punished and dying. This is a demonstration of how crucial reactivity is when it comes to your aim. So how can we effectively test and determine whether our reactive aim is fast or slow? While many of you might consider using a simple reaction time test, commonly utilized even by pro players, it's important to acknowledge that this test does not provide an entirely accurate measure of your reactivity. Few factors are excluded, like the element of surprise, which can significantly impact your performance during this test. Mental preparation plays a huge role in this test. In fact, it plays a huge role overall, and this could actually be your key to instantaneously improving your reactive aiming. For the remainder of this video, I'll be referring to this concept as MRA, mental reactive aiming. To accurately test your reactive aim, I'd strongly suggest conducting your tests inside the game. When you are actually playing, you're not anticipating scenarios, nor are you mentally prepared. This leads to a better assessment of your reactive aim. Analyze your duels and try to observe how many times the enemy gets to shoot you first upon contact. Take notes of scenarios where you shot too late and got punished, as well as situations where you didn't physically react in time. In this clip, I was doing a VOD review of one of my students, and we were able to pinpoint that one of his main aiming weaknesses was his reactivity. As you can see in this clip, he lost the duel simply because he didn't visually react in time when the enemy jet swung this angle. So how can you effectively improve your reactive aim? In this video, I'll be giving you 4 tools that you can use to directly target your reactive aiming. And if implemented correctly, this will elevate your aiming skills to a level you've never imagined. Practice, warm-up, minimizing distractions, and eye exercises. The first and most important method is practice. But how do you actually practice reactive aim? To improve your reactive aiming skills, you need to repeatedly engage in scenarios that challenge and reinforce both your visual reactivity and physical reactivity. Consistent repetition of these scenarios will lead to noticeable improvements in your reactive aiming skills. In Oblivity, we've worked closely on this scenario to directly target your reactive aiming. We have designed a scenario that focuses precisely on those two aspects of reactive aiming. As you can see here, you're not only visually reacting to the targets, but you're also actively aiming. Moreover, we wanted to include the element of surprise, which is why we have randomized the target sizes and movements. You'll also notice that the targets appear in various shapes at different spots on the screen. Warm-up. Being tense and stiff in your joints will slow down your reactive aim, which is why stretching is extremely beneficial here. Not only stretching prevents long-term damage to your arm and wrist, but it will also increase the blood flow in your muscles, directly improving your physical reactivity. In Oblivity, we have designed a unique wrist stretching playlist, where you'll be able to hover through various stretching exercises. Here are 3 exercises that I've picked that you can do before your game sessions or training sessions. Take 7 to 10 minutes to perform the following stretching exercises. Number 1. Wrist flexor stretch. Bend your wrist, pointing your hand toward the floor. With your other hand, Gently bend your wrist further until you feel a mild stretch in your forearm. Now hold this position for at least 15 to 20 seconds and repeat twice. Number 2. Wrist stretch. Start by aligning the fingertips of both your hands together. Push your palms together and then lower your hands. Hold this position for at least 15 to 20 seconds and repeat twice. Number 3. Wide stretch. Close your fingers together and hold for 15 to 20 seconds. Then spread your fingers wide and hold for 15 to 20 seconds. Lastly, make a flat fist and hold for 15 to 20 seconds. Repeat twice. Minimizing distractions and centering your focus. Distractions will directly hinder your reactivity. To be precisely reactive, both visually and physically, you need to be able to laser focus on a task. Distractions are detrimental inside the game. For example, before taking a duel, you might be thinking of multiple other things, or when you're holding an angle, you're constantly looking away for a split seconds. These actions can disrupt your focus, which in turn slows down your reactivity. This is precisely why many players perform well in the human benchmark test. They laser focus on one area of the screen and solely focus on clicking when the screen turns green. I can confidently say, based on my experience working with some of the best players and aimers in the game, that mental reactive aiming is by far the most effective tool for improving reactive aim. Mental reactive aiming involves deliberately mentally preparing for various situations and scenarios. This is also the primary reason why players excel in the human benchmark test. They mentally anticipate the screen turning green, and this mental preparation boosts their performance. This concept can be perfectly applied in the game as well. In fact, as an example, I'll refer to the current best Valorant player in the world, two-time world champion Fnatic Derke. This is precisely what sets him apart and puts him above the rest of the players. At first glance, Derke's aiming abilities inside the game may not seem very special, but one of the main reasons he consistently wins his duels, even at the highest levels, is his reactivity. As you can see in this clip, this is something Derke often does before his peaks in duels. He mentally prepares, tilts his head down, and laser focuses on his crosshair, minimizing distractions. His main goal is to shoot the enemy first, and that's where he shifts his focus towards. To demonstrate how effective this method is, here is a clip of the Fnatic team taking the human benchmark test. As you can see, Derke scored the highest, meaning he was the slowest player on his team. However, because he utilizes MRA, his aim is still more reactive than all his teammates inside the game. Now here's another clip of North America's new rising star, Demon 1. Here you can see it's an unfavorable round for EG. It's a 2v4 and Demon 1 is at half HP. Despite this, he decides to make an aggressive play, relying solely on his aim. He mentally preps for this duel, shifting all his focus towards his mechanics. He asks for a fake smoke and becomes laser focused on his crosshair. As soon as the smoke disappears, that's his cue to utilize both his visual reactive aim, clicking on the first target, and his physical reactive aim, flicking onto the next target.
With stars at least, a recall! Oh my god!
I tested this firsthand myself. Here is a clip of me holding an angle on breeze with the operator. My sole focus is hitting my shot with no distractions. I mentally prepare to react to an enemy peeking bridge. Watch how reactive my flick was yourself. Oh my. Eye aiming. One very effective method that can tremendously improve your reactive aim is eye exercises. Eye exercises not only help reduce strain and fatigue in your eyes during your game sessions, but will also ensure that your eyes are comfortable. When your eyes are comfortable, tracking enemies, reacting to enemies, and maintaining focus becomes much easier to do. In sports, this is referred to as vision therapy, where athletes do eye exercises that specifically enhances visual abilities and processing. You have to be able to track enemies with your eyes accurately, instantaneously, and comfortably. In Oblivion, we have specifically designed scenarios that solely work on improving your eye tracking and comfortability. This should be done as a warm-up daily. What you want to do is, through relaxed breathing, calmly track the moving targets. Make sure to take breaks and close and rest your eyes in between. Eye exercises. To be able to track with your eyes, snap onto targets, and snap back to your crosshair, angles, abilities, and the minimap, your eyes have to be comfortable. You want to be able to visually process with no hindrance. I'd argue that seeing better results in overall better gameplay, which is why when it comes to in-game settings, a lot of pro players opt for what's visually comfortable. However, there are eye exercises that you can do to not only strengthen your eye muscles, but also make sure your eyes are constantly moisturized. Exercise number 1. Blink for a minute. This exercise cleans your eyes, gives them a break from the light, and also moisturizes your eyes. Exercise 2. Stare ahead and move your eyes in a circular motion, starting from left to right, then top to bottom. Exercise number 3. Place your thumb 10 inches away and laser focus on it for 10 seconds. Now focus on an object that's 5 to 10 feet away for 10 seconds. Then focus on an object that's 10 to 20 feet away for 10 seconds. Taking care of your eyes through these various exercises will not only benefit your reactivity and overall aim in the game, but will also make sure that your eye health doesn't deteriorate over time, especially when you're putting in a lot of hours in front of your monitor. Incorporating these tools into your daily routine will significantly improve your overall reactive aim, allowing you to break through the skill ceiling in the game. It's important to remember that your well-being also plays a big role in terms of reactivity. For instance, you won't be as reactive after a night of good sleep compared to when you're tired. Your ability to center your focus, eliminate distractions, and aim more reactively in the game will deteriorate if your lifestyle and habits are not aligned properly. If you have enjoyed this video and found it beneficial, please like and subscribe, as this will help us bring you more content like this in the future. Thank you for watching.